How about from a practical skill building aspect? You've been an operator, you've been an investor. From that point of view, how do you optimize your performance in career?
I think, let's see, things that have been very important to me. One thing I would point to is I feel like there's a tendency for folks to have a somewhat narrow band that they work within. So, again, I'll just use Silicon Valley as the experience I've had. There's people, they're working in the technology industry, they're socializing with people that are in the technology industry, they're married to someone who's working in the technology industry, and it's very singular to some degree. And Scott talks about this in his book, that the importance of having a broader exposure to different topics and different points of view and different fields, because that kind of enables more creativity, enables you to see maybe the bigger picture and tie things together in a way that's much more unique. So one thing that I would encourage people to do is be slightly more broad-based in terms of the things that they're exposing themselves to and the types of books they're reading or the types of media they're consuming. I think another one for me has been mentorship. So I have a coach that I work with on a regular basis. I have a mentor that I work with on a regular basis. And those people are not technologists. And I think one of the very important things that they've done is bring in that perspective, bring in a different perspective. And that has helped me work with CEOs, many of whom, by the way, are not technologists, and Scott also points that out in his book.
So, what percentage of the companies that you've invested in, what percentage of CEOs are technologists and non-technologists?
Yeah, it's a good question. It would be hard to come up with the overall percentage right now.
Sure.
The thing that does stand out to me, though, is of the ones that were the most successful, how many of them had a kind of a technologist versus a non-technologist. And my first experience was PayPal, and Peter Thiel was a philosopher, and Mike Moritz, who was at Sequoia at the time and was a very influential investor in the company, was a journalist. And obviously Mike, as CEO of Sequoia, was legendary, I think. Palantir Technologies, the CEO, Alex Karp, is a philosopher.
So would the advice be do philosophy and not computer science?
No, I think the advice is to be well-rounded. I think that's the advice, and I think it's true. I think it's so. Mark Zuckerberg studied computer science and psychology, and so that might be a great example as well. Steve Jobs was much more of an artist than a computer scientist, right? So there's something here about being more well-rounded and embracing, again, going back to technology and humanity. The focus tends to be so much on the technology side, and what I'm trying to do is say, let's not forget about the humans. We're an important part of the equation, and I think by embracing the totality of that that's how we advance.
So do you bring a lot of that into Oak House Partners?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the way we run the firm.